to Stoner Nation Cannabis Lifestyle and Marijuana Tips. On today's episode, which I am getting up for something, we are going to be doing some catch up. I gotta make sure I got my mic up and running right, because I don't think my mic's going right. Let's find out. Yep, everything's going perfect. Alrighty. Sorry about that. New podcast studio, as y'all saw in the video. That's the short I made. Those of you who are following us on TikTok. So, just to let everyone know, we're down to one mouse for this podcast. Which is unfortunate, but that's just how life is. So, let's go ahead and get started. Alrighty now. So, as I was about to say, we're going to get started today. And we're going to start with an ad. Now, we're going to talk about Rumble Wallet today. Rumble Wallet is an app that's dedicated to the average Joe. It's a bank not run by government, not run by big pharma, not run by corporations, not run by any of that. What Rumble Wallet is an app for you. It's a banking app for you. Your money, they can't freeze it. They can't use it when you want. Pay your favorite content creators. And enjoy life. You can download the app in the App Store or the Play Store. Now, another ad we have is for Skit Trivia by Henry Berner. You can get that on www.amazon.com/author/Henry Berner. That's Henry Berner spelled HenryBerner. And he has a podcast on Rumble and Spotify, so go ahead and check him out. Alright, for those of you who don't know, I have 3 computers set up right now. 2 of them are recording visual and 1 is recording audio. So I'm looking between my 2 cameras. And if you're watching on Rumble, YouTube, or anything like that, you will see my new mic system up above the head by the camera. Yes, I do got a new camera. So, yay! Now let's get into it. Alrighty. Sorry, having technical difficulties on my own as well. Not very great internet service where I'm at. Gotta fix that. What the hell? No, that's just my beard in the light. My mustache in the light. Anyway, marijuana rescheduling is a transitional step that must be followed by banking, commerce, and justice reforms, a new analysis says. Now, according to the federal marijuana rescheduling would represent a historic policy change, which we already knew, with major implications for cannabis research in the industry. But it would should also be viewed as a transitional step. And it just got to be followed by, new banking laws, new judicial laws. I mean, everyone who has a marijuana conviction should have their convictions overturned. Make it true justice. But according to the University of California, which published the analysis in the Journal of Cannabis and Cannabinoid Research, focused on impacts and limitations of moving from marijuana from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3 to the Controlled Substance Act, saying that, you got to make new laws for banks to be able to process the money. You got to make convictions overturned if they're just marijuana convictions. You got to do a lot of shit. And yes, they do. It's only fair. That is only fair. Now, I'm not even going to discuss that one too much. We're going to go on to Delaware. And hi, Kaylee. I am from Florida. I am from the proud state of Florida, the Sunshine State. Be more precise, Pasco, Florida. Now, like I was saying, Delaware Senate passes bill to let terminally ill patients use medical marijuana in hospitals. We were talking about that before. Hi, Elijah Cults. Missouri. Haven't been there before. I come close to it, but haven't been there before. By close, I think I maybe was a state away. I was going the opposite direction. But I mainly stay on the East Coast, so although right now I'm on the West Coast of Florida, tragically. I can see passing through there. I'm a big old war buff, like Civil War and stuff like that. So I mean, there's some sites there that would be interesting. Where the hell? There's my door. Hi, Crash Jones, Wisconsin. I got a friend of mine up there. His name's Danny. He used to be a firefighter. Actually, I think he still is a firefighter. I'm not 100% sure. I've spoken to him a little bit. We went to middle school together and technically high school for like all of a week. So I got sent to another school. My bad. But yeah, if you see Danny Thompson, let him know. Randy says hi. But back on to this, guys. Oh, hi, 5 9s. And Evelyn and everyone. How y'all doing? All right. Now, like I was saying, the state of Delaware has unanimously approved a bill that will allow terminally ill patients to use medical cannabis in hospitals, which I think that should be all over the country, all over every state that has medical or recreational. I do. Maryland's working on it for first responders. I think everyone should have it. I personally think we should just take a shit ton of weed, throw it into all of our states' government offices, their events, light it up, let it go, make sure they're all in there, make sure they're locked in there, get them higher than a kite, and then go in there and get some bills passed that would benefit everyone. Get them to be smart. The Persians used to get drunk and high and all that shit, have a discussion and sober up in that same discussion. If they decided it was the same idea, it was a good idea, they went with it. So history says it works. Why not do it? Native Americans did the peace pot. Ooh, peace packs are beautiful. And yes, anyone who has Native American ancestry and has been to any of these peace circles will tell you on a lot of times they do mix weed and peyote into their stuff. Speaking of peyote, we will be getting to that here in a minute. There's 2 topics on that one. Yes, 2 on hallucinogenics. And peyote is great for a spirit walk. Just to let y'all know. But after advancing through the Senate Health and Social Services Committee with clarifying amendment, the full chamber passed the legislation from Senator Marie Pickney, Democrat, in a 21-0 vote on Thursday. So I do believe I already covered this one in the past, actually. So we're going to exit this one. I think I covered it last week, and that we're still waiting on the Senate, on the House in Delaware to vote on it. I thought there may have been an update on it. There wasn't. I'm sorry. I've been in a rush today, so bear with me. And to let y'all know, I am smoking Winter Fresh Mint. Not the shit you grow in your garden. This is a marijuana strain. I covered this one last week as well. So, y'all have any questions, go to last week's episode. But we are going to move on to the new bipartisan congressional bill, which would prevent House discrimination against people convicted of marijuana and other drug offenses. This is one of the articles I was talking about that covers hallucinogenics and shit like that. So bipartisan congressional lawmakers have filed a bill that would repeal a decades-old federal status that leads to the denial of housing for millions of people with prior drug convictions. Now, I didn't really read into this one, but this actually comes from a representative from Florida, too. One a Democrat from Florida, and actually a Republican from Pennsylvania. So, it's bipartisan, like we said, which is awesome for people like me who have marijuana convictions. Yes, I have a marijuana possession conviction. So, this is perfect for people like me. I also have a drug charge. I also have a crack charge. I also have synthetic marijuana charges. The stories behind those. I'm not going to lie. I've had my time around the world on drugs. So, I'll just be honest. Also, to anyone who's not 18, please leave. I try and be rude to anyone under the age of 18, but I don't have time to deal with the reports y'all make. And hi, Hazard Sign. Hi, James, Logan, Gavin, Wyatt, Netster, Joseph. Cowboys are good. I can do a whole episode on the history of Cowboys, by the way, Cowboy. I can. But like I was saying, let's go back to the story. An earlier version was introduced with a Senate companion last session, but did not advance to enactment, which means it didn't pass. The amendment would strike a section of the 1988 Fair Housing Amendments Act that lawmakers says has prevented more than 9 million people from accessing rental housing, no matter how serious the offense was or how long it's been since they've been convicted. Which is only fair. Because drug laws vary widely from state to state, this policy can produce dramatically different outcomes for Americans living just miles apart. See, that makes no sense, because this bill should make it better for everybody. Period. I mean, I know people who have drug convictions for having the prescription pills on them and not having them in a bottle, and the judge turned around saying, well, I'm not going to drop the charge because they're prescribed to you. You were carrying them outside of the bottle. Like with my medical marijuana possession charge. I had a card, I was legal, but the cops turned around and said, no, you're not. And the judge decided to agree with them, despite the state said, we want to dismiss the marijuana charge, which would dismiss all of his other charges and release him back to the streets. The judge said, nope. Yes, Nikki, Jesus does love me. In fact, just to get something across to you, Nikki, I'm going to Google something for you. It's in the Bible, by the way. So please stay, Nikki. I beg of you. I am an ordained reverend. So, yes, Jesus loves me, God loves me, and the Holy Spirit loves me. But in Genesis chapter 1, verse 29 to 31, God gave every seed-bearing plant for food deemed very good. In Ezekiel 47 to 2, the balm of Gilead for sores. Jeremiah 8:22, a fragrant herb like frankincense and cassia oil. Genesis 1:30, nutrition. Revelation 22:2, the leaves of the tree of life are explicitly for the healing of nations. And you also have figs, hyssop, spices, and oils, mint, cassia, cinnamon, mandrake, cedar. just to be more specific. The Bible does not exclusively mention cannabis or smoking weed as terms, but in Ezekiel 34:29, some arguments suggest that marijuana is a plant of renown. We all die of something, Chris. We all die of something. And this isn't a cigarette, it's a joint. Difference. Prohibition of intoxication. While the Bible is silent on marijuana, it's not silent on intoxication. The Bible frequently warns against getting drunk, which is often interpreted as a command to avoid substances that cause intoxication. No, the Bible tells you not to consume in excess. Oh, I'm just having a bad day, Chris. That's all. People have been pissing me off all day today, and I'm just trying to get high right now to get rid of it. So I'm not trying to take it out on you, man. I'm sorry. Just having a really bad day, very stressful, very aggravating. Honestly, I didn't even want to do this podcast today, but I owe it to my fans. You want to know why I'm having a bad day? I'll be blatantly honest with you. I am tired of people telling me like I do a podcast for somebody else, and the dude's old. I'll give it to him. But today was a busy day, and I wanted stuff simple today. So he's like, "What do you want to do for dinner tonight?" I turned around and said, "Well, we bought stuff for spaghetti. We got a crock pot. Just throw it all into the crock pot and just make crock pot spaghetti." Now, for those of you who don't know how to make crock pot spaghetti, you take your meat, how to do the meatballs, or shred it apart if it's ground beef, and just throw little clumps in here and there like you would if you were frying it and sauteing it. You pour your sauce in, you put your noodles in, then you put 1.5 cups of water. Then you set it on either high or low. If you do it on high, it takes 2 to 4 hours. If you set it on low, it takes 4 to 6 hours. Okay? He said he didn't know how to do that. Then I asked him, "Do you know how to make hot roast?" He goes, "Yeah, you put the meat, some water, he says 2 gallons of water. I've never put that much. I've always never put 2 cups in. I've never put 2 gallons. That's just boiling your food at that point, because you're supposed to let the fat and grease and all that go in there and cook to add flavor and the flavor to vegetables and stuff." But he says he has 2 gallons of water with the meatloaf and doesn't add anything else to it. With the pot roast, doesn't add anything else to it. Well, you make crock pot spaghetti, it's the same concept, except you're not using pot roast. He used 1.5 cups of water, ground beef, or whatever meat you want to use, spaghetti noodles, and spaghetti sauce. That started a fight. A 5-hour fight. So there's that. Then we moved into the podcast into a new studio, and internet's not all that great here. And I knew we were going to need something to fix it, and I got yelled at for needing that, for telling them that we needed that. So it's just I've been getting yelled at all day for trying to get stuff taken care of, everything. Good evening, Best White Low. So yeah, it's just been one of those. They said thanks for the follow. So I'm not trying to take any anger out on anybody. This is the first time I smoked all day, this one joint, and as you can see, I'm not even getting anywhere near through it. Yeah, it's been one of those days. So here I am doing the podcast. I do owe it to my fans. That is what a podcast creator, content creator does. We try to put our personal feelings aside. I'm not very good at it, tragically, on some days, and I apologize for that, everyone. So, yeah. You know what? Screw the podcast. Let's just chat. I'm not going through all this stuff with the reading of the laws and stuff like that. Let's just all chat, guys. Wow, I put something down and it completely nearly deletes the. So anyway, I guess I'm just gonna exit out of that because I'm not even gonna waste my time with that. Cancel. Get rid of. Not going on Spotify today, guys. Oh no, I'm gonna get on Spotify. I got this. I know how to do this. I've done it before. Um, but yeah, so speaking of the devil. Hi, Henry. I was just talking about you,
To who?
my viewers.
And I'm sure you didn't tell them what a great guy I was. I will watch your podcast later and I will hear what you
No, I just told them about why I'm having a little pissy attitude today.
Are
That
you
we got into
yelling?
an argument for multiple hours. No, I'm still live right now. I said we got into an argument for multiple hours over dinner and other shit. And so I'm just not in a good mood.
Gonna blame that on me?
No, I'm not blaming anything on you. I'm just saying that, we just got into a little bit of an argument over food because there was a misunderstanding. And I'm hoping that the understanding is now clear.
Are you gonna come and eat?
When my podcast is done.
When will that be?
When it's done.
Well, I mean, don't you? You don't have a set time. Well, you gonna take you and Angie's plate? Okay, then me and Jim both gonna do it.
That's just it. It is Friday the 13th. That's what the problem is today. And T-Bass, I don't care if I'm doing it correctly or not. How I do things. I like how I do things. This works for me. It makes me happy. Keeps me peaceful. Most of the time. I kind of figured somebody was kidding, but yeah, that's just my mindset today. And like I said, I'm not high. I'm not high. I'm not even paying attention to the rest of my streams. I'm paying attention to y'all guys. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna relocate this camera. But I'm gonna show you the podcast studio. There's the desktop. Just got that in. I do need to get a new video processor, and I do need to get a new processor, a new cooling fan, and a new video card because it didn't come with a video card. And I just want to upgrade it in general, and I can't upgrade to Windows 11 without the processor. Luckily, I have a tech degree. We're going for a little walk. Luckily, I have a tech degree. So, I need to know how to do that. There we go. I don't even know how long I've been live for. I've been live for 24 minutes, guys. But yes, the new studio is just a shed. Oh, there is one article I wanted to do. Oh, I found the other article I wanted to do, guys. I'm sorry, I'm going to go back to that for a little bit. New Hampshire House lets marijuana legalization and psychopin therapy bills die without a vote. So they just completely and utterly killed it off. Sucks. Ooh, y'all want to notice watch something cool happen? My phone's about to die. That's why I'm streaming TikTok off of for my TikTok viewers. Alrighty. Because of where I have my computer at now, my main computer for podcast, and where I have my phone. There we go. Woohoo! Alright. Yeah, I know I'm a little short today, guys. I'm getting better at it. I'm high. Finally, I'm getting high. Ay, caramba. But yeah, so New Hampshire isn't going to let you have magic mushrooms or peyote or anything like that. Wah! Sucks. Go get registered with a tribe down in New Mexico, Arizona, or Florida even. You get peyote from any of those. Or you can even go to, for example, you can even go to Home Depot and Walmart and buy little cactuses that are peyote cactus. But they have it labeled as something different. If you Google image search or whatever image search you do, it comes back as peyote. When you look up other cactuses that have similar shapes, there are none. They're all peyote cactuses. The way that they get legal selling them outside of the state where they're supposed to be maintained and kept in is they label it as a completely different cactus. So, yeah. That's kind of cool, guys. Our problems next week's going to be way better. I hope. Whoa, no, what's today? Today's 13th, next week's 20th. Next week won't be live, guys. Next week will be pre-recorded and uploaded. And it won't be available on TikTok. Tragically. I have court next week. Alright, now here's a one on psychedelics that's positive. I can't even pronounce that word. Helps people quit cigarettes more effectively than nicotine patches do. American Medical Association published a study saying this. So the AMA, the American Medical Association, has said that if you want to quit smoking cigarettes, take a shit ton of fucking, well, not a shit ton, but start eating magic mushrooms and other psychedelics. It says in 8 to 10 weeks of a dose of 30 milligrams of cyclopin, the Food and Drug Administration noticed that cigarette smokers were quitting. The randomized clinical trial of cigarette smokers involved administering one high dose of 30 milligrams or 70 kilograms of cyclopin for 8 to 10 weeks of Food Drug Administration approved nicotine patch treatment, with both groups participating in a 13-week CBT program for smoking cessation. So, basically what it is, they were either given a hallucinogenic or FDA-approved nicotine patches. And in the 13 weeks session, a total of 82 psychiatrically healthy adult smokers participating in the study, with 68 completing the 6-month follow-up. The papers say at 6-month follow-up, 17 participants receiving cyclopin, about 40.5% exhibited biochemically verified prolonged absentees, compared to with 4 participants using the nicotine patch at 10%. And 22 participants receiving cyclopin at 52.4% exhibited biochemically verified 7-day point prevalence absences, compared with 10 participants using nicotine patches at 25%. Well then, if you want to quit smoking, take natural hallucinogenics. I just got, hey pronoun human, what's up, man? Bad day, kind of short. Finally getting to where I'm at, where I'm feeling good. Please bear with me, man. And HB fan, Harry Potter fans, what's up? As you can see, Gryffindor. And yes, that is the house I got sorted into on 32 different tests I took on Pottermore. Just to make sure that I got it right. Well, that they got it right. I still say personally I'm a Slytherin, but so yeah, that's the big difference right there. I'm just gonna say it. They basically say, put another way, smokers who receive cyclopin had a more than 6 times greater odds of prolonged abstinence, whatever the fuck that word is, I can't pronounce it, and more than 3 times greater odds of 7 day abstinence. Abstinence. Say it with myself.